entering his car, he slid and fell. I thought, wow, Enanga has trained many people therein. Even when he's no longer a spokesperson of police, he has disciples that are doing the job even better than himself. How do you say such a ridiculous thing in this day and age?
Well, the police spokesperson said on the account of the policemen who were on the ground. That's what happened. That's the story, the information that was
Of course, we don't expect the police spokesperson to be in every part of this country wherever something is happening. But by the time he outs a statement and puts his signature to it, I expect him to be smarter than that. So if if he's scapegoating and saying, if this is a very lousy account, I blame it on the other people. Well, you are the one communicating on behalf of the police. How do you out such a ridiculous statement when everybody, even a Buddha rider who was on phone, is able to see that, but wait a minute, this is exactly what happened. But the police spokesperson, he's saying, on account of these guys, this is what happened, regardless of whatever is on social media. Preposterous, but not unexpected.
Right. Now, the police says they are going to investigate this matter conclusively. Are you happy with that? They want to get to the bottom of it.
They have been investigating the killing of Yasin Kauma since 2018. Anderson, have you seen that report yet? Have you ever seen the report of the Budo Inferno? You remember those children that were burnt in that Inferno in Budo? I'm sorry, this might, really bring out not so good memories to some of our listeners. Maybe some were affected, some lost their children. But many times, yes, the police will say we are investigating. Have you ever seen a report of the fires that were, raising down parts of Owino markets in the past? So I am telling you not to be excited about such a statement. So they say they will investigate, but everything is out there.
You want an investigation conducted so that maybe those that carried out this act can be brought to book?
One, I don't believe that they are interested in carrying out an investigation because they never are. That's why I've told you.
They are on record, the statement issued by the police spokesperson.
And I'm saying that can be on record.
They say they will leave no stone unturned.
But be that as it may, Kenneth, let's assume they really are desirous to carry out an investigation. In that case, then, you don't jump to conclusions and say, this guy just slid and fell. At the very least, you could be smart enough. I don't know who helps these guys put together these statements. You could be smart enough to say, look, yes, there was an incident. Honorable Chagulanyi got injured. We are going to carry out an investigation. At least you're shielding yourself. But you're saying he slid and fell. So what investigation are you going to carry out? Because you have already come to a conclusion.
Because the reason I'm asking you this is, in order for the police to carry out a conclusive investigations, one, they will have to have access to Robert Chagulanyi, but even his medical records to understand exactly what was removed from his leg.
Kenneth, the police has already concluded. Actually, today they released another statement. You know, when you tell a lie, you've got to tell another lie to buttress the other lie. Have you seen today's statement?
Yes, I saw it.
You saw the one of yesterday?
I did.
Yeah, so now today they are saying they've tweaked it a bit because they were looking shabby, because clearly all the videos were out there. So they are saying, yes, there was, he was in the middle of tear gas somewhere there, and then he fell. Yesterday there was no talk of tear gas. He said that this guy was entering his car, he slid and fell. Then actually, the videos made rounds.
Yesterday the spokesperson said because of a procession that was ensuing, the police were forced to intervene. And the intervention symbolized the tear gas which was fired.
Two things, Kenneth. One, I don't know if you've seen those videos and whether you have seen any kind of procession there.
I have, actually. I watched.
Did you see a procession?
I watched the incident on Ghetto TV.
Did you see a procession?
As it ensued.
Did you see a procession? Kenneth is looking at me, but that gives you the answer. Everyone has seen these videos. There was no procession anywhere. These people were waylaid. Okay? Yeah, within the town, there were, of course, people were getting excited because they knew he was in the area. So far off, somewhere within the town, people were getting excited and so on. But where he was, did you see a procession?
Well, you have not had a good time with the police, and we have seen a number of times incidents occurring. At one point, you had even meetings with the police hierarchy to be able to cure some of these issues, and you agreed. You even had liaison people to be able to communicate to ensure that you can carry out your activity within what they think is permissible. Are we likely to see a situation where NUP and the police are actually coordinating in order for you to carry out your activities, and in a situation where we do not see the police intervening? What do you think would be ideal?
way above them. The real problem that we have is this regime that has decided they will cling on to power at whatever cost. So anyone that raises their head, it will be beaten, it will be smashed. In Arua, they wanted to kill Chagulanyi. And they killed his driver because they thought, let's now finish this guy off, we shall deal with the consequences. That's the regime.
Not that I want to apportion blame to you as a political party, but do you sometimes sit back and reflect and say, as a political party, maybe here would have done better, this is what probably we need to do? Do you share any blame on your part for the incidents that have occurred so far? Have you been able to reflect?
You see, I don't want to sit here and say I'm a perfect human being. No one is. But then it would be good to assess scenario by scenario. Then you say, in this particular scenario, this is what we did wrong. So in yesterday's scenario, for example, what did the Honorable Chagulanyi do wrong? He went for a private visit, which was within this home. He was living on his way home. They waylaid him, began to fire tear gas. What wrong thing did he do? Help me understand. There you are. So, like I've told you, Kenneth, the problem is larger than just police and the military. It is the regime. I mean, you keep hearing Mr. Museveni. He went on TV after the Arua incident and said Bobby Wine and those other people were beaten properly. So you even find it very difficult sometimes to blame these junior foot soldiers because you see where the command is coming from. That tells you who did issue the orders. And that's the crux of the matter.
All right. Let's move on now and go to your duty station, which is Parliament, where you were elected to serve, but also not only as an MP, but also as the leader of opposition. Now, of late you've been in the news, and one of the things that has featured highly is the issue of the regional for the incidents that have occurred so far. Have you been able to reflect?
You see, I don't want to sit here and say I'm a perfect human being. No one is. But then it would be good to assess scenario by scenario. And then you say, in this particular scenario, this is what we did wrong. So in yesterday's scenario, for example, what did the Honorable Chagulanyi do wrong? He went for a private visit, which was within this home. He was living on his way home. They waylaid him, began to fire tear gas. What wrong thing did he do? Help me understand. There you are. So, but like I've told you, Kenneth, the problem is larger than just police and the military. It is the regime. I mean, you keep hearing Mr. Museveni. He went on TV after the Arua incident and said Bobby Wine and those other people were beaten properly. So you even find it very difficult sometimes to blame these junior foot soldiers because you see where the command is coming from. When he says they were beaten properly, clearly that tells you who did issue the orders. And that's the crux of the matter.
All right. Let's move on now and go to your duty station, which is Parliament, where you were elected to serve, but also not only as an MP, but also as the leader of opposition. Now, of late you've been in the news, and one of the things that has featured highly is the issue of the regional sittings of Parliament. One of the things you raised was that there was not going to be any value taking Parliament to the regions, but you also complained about the amount of money that were being spent. When the sittings began in Gulu the other day, the Speaker talked about the issue of funding and said there's no extra call on the taxpayer. and therefore they're using the inland travel budget to finance the sittings. But also there were issues on the order paper which were basically issues to do with northern Uganda. Now I want to ask you, after looking at what transpired in the regional sitting in Gulu, are you in position, have you changed your mind probably about these regional sittings, and maybe we are likely to see you leading your group in the other regions?
First things first, you said the speaker said there was no particular budget for this, that money was picked from committees,
no extra call on the taxpayer
and elsewhere. I found that interesting because some of my colleagues were blaming me and saying, but Lob, where were you when we were passing budget for these regional sittings? And I said, okay, I don't want to engage into some kind of catfight with some of these fellows because the number of them, many times I look at the back and I don't see them in parliament, but that's okay. Maybe they're busy elsewhere and so on. But they were saying, we passed this budget for the regional sittings. The rope was not around. Now he's complaining. Why is he complaining after we passed it in the budget? A few moments later, the speaker says, no, there was no budget for the regional sittings. We simply picked money from committees and elsewhere. I said, now, the challenge with these people is they don't even have harmony. I think they're just told, you go and bash Ssenyonyi. Then they go and they're all speaking different languages. Maybe they should have harmony, even when they want to come and, disregard whatever it is that I'm saying. Have a bit of harmony. Otherwise, you look confused. Because if you're saying money was passed in the budget, this Ssenyonyi was not around when we were passing that money in the budget. But now the presiding officer is saying, no, there was no budget for this. We speak money from here, from committees. Anyway, let me leave that issue alone because it's a ridiculous one.
I'll be coming back to you on the issue of money in parliament.
Today, because
so
this was tethered to that particular issue, I thought I should put it out because it was the defense of some of my colleagues. Some of them were saying, no, the reason we are going is because this money was passed in the budget. Maybe the rope was not present that day when we passed it in the budget. But then there's a contradictory narrative. Today I've been reading the press and I've been seeing feedback from northern Uganda. I don't know if you have.
you.